Hi guys, welcome to your Capricorn April 2020 reading. As you guys know, these readings are absolutely timeless, so it doesn't matter when you watch it, and they're absolutely designed for anyone for whom they resonate, so it doesn't matter what your sign is. All right, so before I jump in, I just want to let you guys know that if you'd like to order a personal reading with me, you can find my information in the description box below. Donations are also welcome. Thank you. Also, I'm starting to offer a mini reading for $7.49. It's same day, so within a 24-hour period, you'll receive your response back from me. Yay! And I do now offer an in-depth love relationship, and I will start to offer starting tomorrow once I just put this online, right? So I will start to offer an in-depth reading about the soul contracts that you have with other people. You can choose up to 3 to 4 people. All right, so let's jump right in. Okay, so if this reading resonates with you, amen. In the month of April, I see that there's a strong chance that you will be losing what looks to me like a family member. It could be a family member in the sense that they share your bloodline, could be somebody that's in your vicinity and you consider them to be like family. It could also be in the workplace where there's a tight-knit group of you guys as co-workers. I'm seeing that this is about, I don't like to say this, but actually I'm just a messenger, but it's a little bit of a weeding out. I do feel that some of you, someone here, or at least a few of you, in this dynamic feel almost like you are the one who's going to be weeded out, but it's actually not going to be you. So for Capricorns, I'm not surprised that this kind of reading would come up already, where it's a little bit of a nod to the workplace, because you guys need to relax sometimes. God bless. All right, but you do keep these things running for us and the rest of the world. Now, where does this scenario play out? It really depends on you, and that's why personal readings are the best to do. However, for example, if it is in the workplace, maybe your company is going to be downsizing and you have this sinking suspicion that you are going to be the team member to be let go, and then you find out, oh my God, it's Robbie. But Robbie's been here for 6 years. How come he's the one being let go? God bless, right? So either way, I do feel that this is going to be about a downsizing. If it's in a friend group, this could be something as simple as this friend is no longer vibing or resonating with you and the rest of your friends. I'm definitely seeing that, because I'm seeing this as a 6 and I'm seeing this 5 of Pentacles. So 6 downgraded to 5, feeling left out in the cold. Now, if this is a friend situation, like a group of you, and this person no longer resonates or vibes, how they leave the group is really going to be dependent upon the energies of your specific situation. For some of them, depending on their maturity and the maturity of the group, they might storm out and you can't fire me, I quit, right? Some of them might somehow just fall out of step with you. It's like every time you guys are like, hey, we're going to the movies, or hey, we're going to do this. Do you want to meet up? Somehow they're busy, or they take long to get back to your calls. It doesn't matter how the exit happens in life sometimes. It's just, it happens. And that's because there's a falling out of place. What determines how that goes down, that separation, that severance, is going to be based on the egos of the people involved, the personalities, sometimes karma, sometimes the way it's done is karmically determined for the sake of learning. But either way, as I was saying, Capricorn, I do see quote unquote a death. And to be honest, as I'm saying that death, they're bringing the word there. So for some of you guys, this could very well be a passing of a member of your family or group, right? And so in which case that could really be death. But I do see that it really does speak to some sort of separation that occurs in the month of April. Right now, these things are energetically based, and so that's why it's timeless. So I'm saying April because that's the energy I'm getting now. However, depending on when you watch it, it could be for that moment in time, or it could be something that's coming up. It's time. All right. Let's see, moving on. But Spirit is saying that when it comes to this separation, there's something to be gathered. So it's almost like I do feel that you're going to have to slow down a bit and really look at what it is that you've quote unquote lost, or what it is that has walked away from you or has left. See, they said quote unquote lost because remember, the separation and the details of the separation are subject to more than one variable. And one of those variables is perception. So for some of you, you may see it as a loss, but then when you change this perception, you look at it from the standpoint of the other person, maybe this is in their best interest. Maybe it's about liberation. Maybe this is also an example of rejection being protection for you. So for the sake of discussion, we're going to say energies that you've lost, but please know that that's because we need to talk about it. However, the word lost may not necessarily be the best word to describe your situation. Either way, whatever it is, this is about learning in the gaps. So the separation has happened, and now it's time to look at what it is that's left. Just like this beautiful lady is here allowing this water, or these granules of sand, however you want to look at it, to slip through her fingers. But when she looks into the palm of her hand, she'll see that there's something left there. For some of you, it's going to be a truth that you were not willing to look at. That being said, in the month of April, you may be dealing with somebody who has been separated from you, and in the month of April, it's a time for you to find out what that is and why that happened. I do feel that whatever this situation is, as the separation occurs and room is made for new information to come in, I do feel that you will be put on a higher spiritual path. I'm seeing this here with the earth healing coming in with the number 11, right? It's about you moving closer to who you are, you coming closer to your truth. Now, I do notice that there's a dark night of the soul at the other end of this arc. But I'm being told to let you guys know that if you do your healing work now, then God bless, it's kind of like, and now meaning whenever you watch it, right? But here we are in quarantine time. We are having the opportunity to turn inward. Why? Because a lot of the distractions and daily things that pull on us are reduced or altogether wiped out. And so it is a perfect time for you to sit down and think. Now, if you do not use this time to learn, I do feel that later on down the line you'll have to deal with it. So I'm just letting y'all know, God bless, because you guys know I keep it real, keep it 100. That being said, the next card, look at how they roll. Oh my God, the next two cards, guys, angels, guides, how do you do this? That being said, the next card is they're asking you to come to the table and make an agreement, spiritual decree from the third dimensional consciousness. Remember, this is all made already in the non-physical, right? As above, so below. What is coming to pass in the physical has already been predetermined as a potential, as a possibility. And some things are higher probabilities and some things are lower probabilities, but they all exist within the potential as a possibility. So there's value in getting you up to speed in the third dimension, because then you can become conscious of it, and when you know it, then you can actively from this physical body start to take actions in the physical to pull in these possibilities while you shove out other possibilities. So Spirit is making an appeal to you, if this reading resonates with you, to get on the spiritual path. They're like, come on, get going. So they're like, let's learn now. And if you make that agreement within yourself, which sounds like a surrender, like, dear God, I don't know what to do, or some of you do know what to do, as we all know what to do, but dear God, I may or may not be aware of what it is that I need to do, what my steps need to be. However, please, dear God, take me in the right direction. I surrender to my highest good. Boom. There you have just activated your healing sequence. Now, the thing about it is, if you activate that healing sequence and you do it, guys, they're calling me. They're like, hold on. Very important. Notice how this card came up on that card. They want you to activate this healing in alignment with Spirit. So why is it that they're saying that? Because a lot of times, yes, we activate our healing. We say, yes, we want to heal, but then we gravitate towards people, places, things, and situations that do not provide the healing that we need. And they definitely don't provide it to the capacity and at the level that we need. So just because you're going to a therapist does not mean that's what you need in particular. And even if it is what you need, is that all that you need? And also, is it with this particular person? So they're saying, don't edge God out, ego, don't edge God out of the equation. Now, don't edge your higher self out of the equation. So, you know what? You sit, you meditate, you go inward, and you say that little prayer I said, activate, healing sequence, right? And in so doing, you ask God to direct you and your spirit guides who are literally sitting right next to you right now. Look to your left, right, up, down. And you ask them, guys, what do you want me to do? And allow them the days to I usually give my guides like 6 days. Like, guys, what do you think? Guys, I'm going to ask this question now, but I'm going to keep an eye out for the next 6 days because I know that right now I want the answer so much that I might miss it when you give it to me. So I allow it to come into my consciousness. Align yourself with the highest power. Align yourself with yourself, first of all, your highest good. And from that standpoint, you ask God to bring in the appropriate healing methods for you. Interestingly, I'm getting a military feel now. This is telling me that a lot of you guys have past lifetimes in military situations. You guys know me, I keep it 100 all the way. A lot of this military feel that I'm feeling is off planet. Yes, for those of you who are already up to speed, yes, I am talking about the Lyran Wars, the Orion Wars, whatever you want to talk about it. Some of you have been or are involved or aspects of you have been or are involved with Stargates, things like that. So as you know, there are operations that are going on all the time. And you're either in the know or you're not. Some of you are being called, and especially to this video, because they're saying it's your time. It's almost like in the waiting room, the nurse comes out, okay, this group is next, right? So it's time for you to come and clear those aspects of you. This is the Ascension card that's next. This is all about releasing those old military paradigms, those old, aspects of you that were involved in these, let's just put it mildly and nicely, incursions, as much as that could be mild and nice, right? And so they're saying, come on, it's your time to get clean. It's your time to get clear because you have spiritual service to do. Listen, karma is about balancing. Now, karma comes in many flavors. For example, you can create, if your soul wants to create balance. Notice I didn't say if your soul wants to punish yourself, because that's not what this is about. It's never going to be about punitive action. From a higher perspective, the language changes. It becomes being about creating balance in the world. What you sow, you reap. What you sow onto others, you reap for yourself as well. So that being said, what you put out there in whatever lifetime, if it's negative and it has a negative impact on the people and the environment and whatnot, then your soul is most likely going to be like, oh man, now I need to clean this up because what was I doing? I forgot that I actually come from a place of love. So what can I do to create balance and to make amends? Notice the language is different. And one of the ways that our souls love to do it is to come in and experience it for ourselves. So a lot of times if you contribute to a certain institution, for example, on Earth that or wherever in the universe that serves to oppress people, guess what you're coming into in another lifetime for the sake of your higher learning? You'll probably come in as somebody who is now stuck and falling victim to that regime. Why? Because it's not only about using your body and your vessel in that lifetime to help counteract in whatever way you can, but it's also about moving forward to know that as a soul, there's a lesson to be learned from this, okay? So that's one way. Another way you can do it is that you may come in, another way that you may balance karma is that you may come in with agreements with people who may have been hurt or people who are in positions to bring greater learning within that field. It's all a part of cleaning up and clean up. You'll come in and you'll say, okay, I will assist this effort in whatever way. It's just up to you, okay? So, I'm seeing that that's spiritual service and that's what you're being called to do. So a lot of you who were involved in these wars and a lot of you who may be involved in just whatever in the past that needs to be cleaned up, you're coming in to get the healing, remove these energy blockages. That's what now is all about for a lot of people. And then boom, you're waking up, you're starting your service, and now that those blockages are removed, you can download more of yourself and you can give more of yourself to your spiritual service. At the same time, you must know that you will be entering back into a little bit of the dark night of the soul. Some of you, it'll be a little bit darker, depending on how much you chose, you as your higher self, there it is, how much you chose to go into, right? For some of you, you're like, I'll stretch it out across this many lifetimes. And for some of you, go-getters, you're like, I'll put it all in one. Yeah, oh God, right? And so depending on whatever, for your spiritual service, you're going to head into that and you're going to be part of the cleanup crew. That's how that works. We're seeing that here again. So you see, this is about this tower coming down. So in the tower coming down, this is about you having a breakdown in consciousness, in a sense that you're coming into awareness. You might be learning more about yourself. You might be just moving a lot of energy. We see the magician as being trained to now step into that spiritual service. And then we see this Five of Swords. And don't you let me catch you back here again, right? It's like, but wait a minute, you were the one vandalizing this property last lifetime, and now here you are telling them to move along. Yes, that's because that's what your spirit has undertaken, to help clean it up and to help stop the perpetuation of whatever that thing is. Right now in the world, you guys, the world is going through what may seem to be like a reversal of fortune in many ways, in the sense that it's moving from this uber dark craziness into a higher, lighter vibration. And over time, as these institutions start to fall, as these changes start to occur, as the light workers start to wake up, as a lot of things start to shift, because remember, as above, so below. In the astral, it's already shifted, but now we're just waiting for it to come into the physical. And so as that starts to happen, you guys are going to become more aware. And the beautiful thing about it is that all those people who need to see first and then believe will finally have their day to see what's going on, and then they could believe, and then boom, everyone starts really working towards something powerful. But the thing about light workers, starseeds, volunteers, whatever, way showers, whatever words you want to use, those who come to help enlighten the world, they must believe first and then they see. And so that's why a lot of us kind of get into this calamity situation where we have these tower moments, these major things where the psyche opens up, it is forced to open up. A lot of us get attunements. I'm seeing that within religious institutions and outside of religious institutions, initiations, all sorts of stuff, because you must awaken first, so that when the population is ready, then you can help usher people in. Okay. And so for a lot of you who have done all this work in the sense of, I was told one day that I was supposed to do this and do that, and I still haven't seen that happen. And here I am, I've got my business cards, I've got everything, and nothing's happening. That's because you built it, and now you have to wait for the catalyst. The catalyst has already happened. Now you just have to wait for people to start rolling in. So please, in that moment, what you do is you surrender your ego, you look to source energy, and you ask your highest good, you ask source, your prime creator, how best you can serve in this time. And we don't try to rush things, because if you try to deliver messages before it's time, people are going to laugh you off the stage. When it is time to deliver it, it's no longer a laughing matter. Now you are in demand, because what you have is what is needed. A lot of you also have built it, so to speak, but you haven't been put to service yet, because you're still working through ego things. They're still working on you with certain things. There are aspects of you coming up for healing. Anytime it's time to heal aspects of us, guys, please, please, please embrace it, because that means it's about finding out, oh my God, I have this aspect, working through it and releasing it. And then as you release, nature abhors a vacuum. More of your higher self can come in. That's when you start to have more abilities coming online, higher states of consciousness, deeper epiphanies, all sorts of things. And you can see the world more and more and more and more truthfully. So please don't think that any moment is ever lost, okay? All right. Let's see. Where are we? I mean, not where are we? Where do they want me to go? All right. So I'm seeing right now that this is all about using the time that's available to you to cast off, just like everybody else, to cast off these fake world things, these ideas of, I'm a lawyer, I'm a this, I'm a gas station attendant, I am a mother with 3 kids. All of these labelings, it's about time to release them. You're stepping into a higher frequency. The frequency is already here. It's about being available for it. It's about being receptive to it, and it's about flowing with it. Now, as you flow with the higher frequency, you realize there are just some things that cannot go with you into this new dimension. And that's why we have this lovely King of Cups who's good with his love and who's understanding, taking off this what is it called, robe. All right. Now, as he takes off that robe, he's more suited now. And this is where we find the waiting. He's in the chariot, but now he's waiting to receive his plans. He's waiting for the right time to strike. Now, they always say if you want to make God laugh, make plans, right? Now, plans are necessary, of course. However, we also have to realize that sometimes when you make plans, it's laughable because it could change in an instant. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, sorry, guys. Had to take a call really quickly. All right. I forgot what sentence I was saying, but I think the point was clear. Okay. I do see that once you come into this higher state of awareness, it's going to be a major reset button for you, as we see with this Sun card. A lot of you during this time will be receiving a lot of intel. You'll be receiving a lot of epiphanies. You'll be getting to see things in your past from a new perspective. Like, to be honest, you'll look back on, like, you could be lying in bed and some thoughts come to you about how you were with your first boyfriend or girlfriend, and you look back, you're like, man, I was a jerk. Or, things that you thought you'd squared away before, now you're being asked to look at it again. Now, notice I said squared away. That's a nod to the military connection that they said, okay? So a lot of us are starting to realize times when we weren't the best people. Now, if you're getting readings these days and they're going into your higher dimensional aspects, a lot of times what the readers are telling you are like, hey, by the way, this not so savory situation is what you were involved with. And you may have this feeling like, everything's always bad. It's not that everything's always bad. It's the point of, hey, you're getting a personal reading. This is your energetic chance to tackle issues. Who wants to go and hear like, you were the best king ever, you were this? No, it's about, hi, you came for healing. This is what we're seeing. This is what you need to work on. That's what your guides are trying to get through to you. So personally, the people I work with tend to have spiritual service, and so they come for all sorts of reasons, and that's why, like for love or whatnot, and that's why I always look at their higher aspects, because it's in the higher aspects that we understand what they're trying to do on this earth, and then we look at the details down here and we could see where the alignment is, right? And very often there's an issue where you're being asked to do clearing because you're being asked to step into something higher. It's pretty cool. So you guys are pretty cool if these readings resonate for you, if they're for you, that is. Okay. Now, I do feel that if this reading is for you, once you come into this awareness, once you are able to move through a lot of these things from the past, you now get into this what do you call this? What do you call this? I'm the reader, right? This Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is here carrying this Ace of Wands, right? But it's like he's carrying it. He doesn't quite realize that he's carrying it, and he's going to be carrying it. So in a way, what they're trying to say is, yes, you're doing the healing for yourself. However, guess what God's going to be doing? As usual, God's going to be saying something like, okay, now you've done the hard work for yourself. You've learned, and I want you now to go out. No wonder. I was like, what card is that underneath? To go out and take what you've learned and help those who need it. So notice the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a lovely card in the sense that, no, first of all, it's a rough card because it speaks of a dark night of the soul. It speaks of being lost in a perception that is not good for you. But it's a beautiful card in the sense that the nuance of it is that it's a perception shift that's needed. All you need is that holy instant where you have that change of circumstances occur in your mind, where you have that perception shift. And once you have that shift in perception, you walk right out from the swords. And so Spirit is saying that as you heal yourself, you will be employed to help other people. And that's a beautiful thing. What will your message be? It's as simple as any. The message is let go of the ego and come into your virtue. Let go of the ego, come into your virtue. Let go of the ego, come into your victory. And that's what you're doing. Now, I do feel that some of you, as you start with that message, you might feel unqualified to deliver it. For example, if you are a recovering drug addict, God bless, right? God will use you later. If you're watching this video, you have spiritual service. So God will use you later to help. And they're giving us a nod to Jesus right now, right? We just passed Easter. God bless. Now, as you go out and help, a lot of people might dismiss you and they're saying, what do you know? You don't know anything. If you knew it, you wouldn't have gotten caught up, the blah, 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 blah. Those are not voices you need to listen to. They're saying for some of you, it could throw you off the path a little bit. Look at this Two of Swords. Look at this. You're super cute as this Page of Cups, having this thing but feeling like you have low confidence because people aren't going to listen to you, and then you might even want to give up depending on whatever it is. For some of you, it's not even anything about addictions. It's something about starting a business. Maybe you feel like, oh, people will never listen to me because blah blah blah. You enter whatever your personal issue is. But Spirit is saying, don't stay stuck in your fears. Instead, be like the Queen of Swords. Use that logic and cut out what needn't be blocking your path, okay? That leads to victory. They're also promising you that as you embark on this spiritual service, Five of Pentacles, any feelings of low self-worth, low self-esteem, inabilities, things like that, undeservability, will, whether they're at the beginning or not, they will cycle out, because Spirit is going to give you experiences that validate you over and over and over and over again, to the point that the wheel turns and you move into victory. And into victory is when you'll be coming into this beautiful Emperor card, male, female, or gender non-conforming. It doesn't matter. And as you do that, you carry the Ace of Cups to the world. The Ace of Cups is about divine love. It's about divine love. It's God offering something to the world. Through who? You. And in fact, look, this is what you will offer on behalf of Spirit, on behalf of God. It's the ability to choose. And not only the ability to choose, but the ability to choose wisely from a wizened state of being. Now, you may wonder, everybody does have a choice. But today, in today's world, yes, at the end of the day, we all have choice, whether or not we choose to acknowledge that choice. No one's saying that the choices are easy. Sometimes the choice is between, life or death. Sometimes the choice is between daydreaming or staying into reality, but there's always choice. And a lot of times we have institutions, people, places, things, situations, institutions that seek to rob us of our choice. So light workers, a lot of you are here to help energize people, to help get them mobilized through energy healing, through leading by example, through giving talks, through writing books, through to whatever, so that they can get to a place where they recognize their abundance, to recognize that they are the kingdom, and so therefore always have the keys to the kingdom, never have to beg, and helping them to see that they can choose their own fate. Right? This is about liberation, liberating the human race, liberating people in all walks of life. Now, what was I going to say? Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go over here. Reading almost done. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so I'm seeing that for a lot of you, this might be a little bit hard because it's about you getting up on a platform that you don't feel comfortable on, you don't feel safe on. People may rag on you in the comments. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, yeah, they talked about giving you validation after validation. Imagine me, like, guys, listen, I'm literally pulling this out of nowhere as far as you're concerned, right? Where am I coming up with these things? And that's the way I felt when I started charging for it. And it's like, wait, what? How can I start charging people for stuff when I don't know if it works? And then every reading, pretty much, people are like, hey, that's on it. Some people will tell me openly, I don't resonate with it. And then 5 months later, they're like, oh my God, you were on the money, right? And so every time I do readings, I get nervous too. Like, what if this is the one that I don't know what I'm talking about? But at the end of the day, the validations are there, and every validation makes me stronger. And so you have to know that the same will happen for you. So I do see a lot of you will have fear. in getting up and telling your secrets, Spirit is saying. Some of you will share your personal stories with others, personal stories of abuse, things like that. Whistleblowers are definitely in this card. Eyewitnesses, I'm seeing that, and you may feel that you're relying on foundations on institutions to protect you, and like the law, like the police, and it's not helping you as you go about your job doing this spiritual service. But Spirit is saying, look at this, untouchable. You're untouchable. And oftentimes when people come to me for readings, for example, in this case, this is just an example, but it applies. If somebody comes and they're like, oh, hi, Janelle, whatever, I feel like I'm supposed to like write a book about my sexual abuse when I was younger, and I don't know if I want to put myself out there. And then when I look into their energy field, I see that this is not their first lifetime going up against mainstream media, going up against the public and telling their story. This is something that maybe they've done every lifetime, and here they are again being asked to do that in service to the light and being afraid. But that's because they don't remember how badass they are, and they don't remember that they've done this countless times before. And every time it's scary, sure, and it's painful, but it's worth it. And that's what I'm seeing here. This is about getting straight into it. Now, they're also saying that as you start to do your cleanup, see how your higher self, oh my God, it looks like the same person, same sweater at least, right? As your higher self comes in and they start cleaning up, look, weren't we just talking about the repeating, the lifetime again, lifetime after lifetime doing this similar service? That's right, guys. See, as you come in and you start getting to work, boom, boom, boom. I wish you could see your higher selves. Sometimes they're just so tough. They're just like, look, tell me when to go. Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go. Meanwhile, the lower self, the 3D self is like, but I. And then there's this idea that I can't go back to being small, who I was. My life was so perfect before I put myself out there, blah, 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 blah. But this is what you're working with. I see warrior at this level. And then here in the third dimension, it's like I'm scared. But as time goes by and you get those validations over and over and over and over and over again, guess what? It becomes much easier, and gradually you slip from that into this. All right, next place next institution to tear down, right? Now listen, see the dark night of the soul? They're saying that what helps you to become this from this third dimensional scared self is when you do your healing. When they say do the healing work, deal with that issue from the past, look at it. When you clear that and it clears out, your higher self, more of it can come in, right? It really, really happens that way. And that's how you transition to this self. This is you going from this to this. All right? So the thing that I'm seeing with this, though, is that it's a little bit of a warning, and you should check out the April 2020 Cancer reading. Guys, you guys know I often put the signs on here, Aries, Taurus, all that. But these readings are not really sign-based. So if you're watching my videos, you may notice that I say start looking for videos in my channel and other people's channels and in life in general based on your intuition, and stop looking for the signs, because it doesn't matter what sign it is, okay? So that's why I usually put like everyone/Cancer. All right, so look for the April 2020 everyone/Cancer reading, because it talks about how to do spiritual service right. And one of the things that they talk about is this: allowing yourself not to fall into depravity. Now, as you do spiritual service, it doesn't mean that you're going to always be infallible, that, oh my God, I'm going to be the best person ever, and I'll never want to just, slip into my ego. Ego's going to be around, temptation's going to be around, but you have to affirm why it is that you're doing what you're doing. And what you're doing is being of service to the world. What you're doing is being in the flow of the new energies that are coming onto this earth, so that you can clear stuff. Speaking of that, look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Okay, that's you getting into alignment. Now, contrast that with this card here. This card on the right says the Verge. You see the lightning coming up. For much of the Earth's population, they're on the verge of coming into this great awakening. But for a lot of you light workers and star seeds and whatever names you'd like to use, this is you here already awakening ahead of time. Why? So that you can help others to do that transition, have that transition. Look at the mirroring here. This is showing me as above, so below. This is going to be the point where it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to be this big force. Whether it's in the third dimension, whether it's in the fifth dimension, sixth, seventh, eighth, 20th dimension. This is about you getting in alignment with your higher self. And it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you come from. Look, it doesn't matter the time, the differentials. It doesn't matter, whatever. You are here, and this is your job. And your job is to stay focused on the plan and not to get sidetracked with egotistical stuff. Oh my gosh, how many viewers are viewing? I only had 42 viewers. Who cares? If you have one viewer, job well done, okay? I only had 2 likes. I had 6 dislikes. Who cares? All right? You don't know why people like and you don't know why people dislike. And case closed. It's not your business to look at those things. Your business is to get the message out there. Whatever your job is, if your job is to be a journalist, your business is to write, stay focused, stay connected. If you're a woodsman and you're supposed to cut wood, your job is to cut wood, stay focused, stay connected. If your job is to do education reform, your job is to do education reform. Stay focused, stay connected. It doesn't matter what you do. It's about staying focused on the task and staying connected to what? To yourself. You always get into alignment with your highest self, your highest good, and through that cord of highest good and highest self, you connect to source energy, okay? You can say universal consciousness. You can say the highest source of love, right? Whatever you'd like to say. As long as it is at a loving place, you affirm that you're God, you're sovereign, and you're free, and only those of the highest light can stay in your presence. And then you go about your business, all right? Okay, guys, God bless. That's your reading for today, Capricorn / anybody. If you'd like a personal reading with me, definitely check me out. My information's in the description box below, and donations are always welcome. God bless. Yay. All right, have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.